Hey guys, this is Azra here, and we are giving Democracy and Dogma with Industrial Genomics another whirl today. We are trying out the bioethics build again, running caprices, having the option to score out as well as do damage, and I think this is a pretty reasonable starting hand actually. So I'm going to keep this, zoom us in a little bit. So we don't have an end the run for our HQ, but I'm kind of happy with Architect as an initial ice. We'll see what we draw into. Crick's actually pretty nice here. I'm just trying to think. We do want the shock in the bin, but right now we only really have one trashable, which is the pad campaign, and I'm definitely happy to put that out just undefended initially and see what he decides to do. We do have to be careful with giving up too many HQ accesses, and also aware that Criminal are quite good at countering this kind of build just by taking advantage of Bank Job and security testing Desperado and such. So that being said, let's pop out the pad. Actually, Gary's really not ideal for HQ, so I do think I'm going to pop the Architect down here. I may just draw first, potentially. Let's draw. I'm glad I drew. So Wallace Static. Yeah, let's put it on the HQ instead. Now we're going to afford to res both of these. Well, we can afford to res both of these if we had credited with the Architect, but I kind of like this. Gives us an end to run for the account siphon. We're not running any account siphon protection at all. So sure gamble special order straight out the gate's pretty good. Although I wonder what he's going to special order for. Having not seen any of our ice just yet. Alias, okay. So I'll put a bit of a dampener. Still 3 to break Architect, so not the worst in the world. And he could trash this pad if he wanted to, but I very much doubt. Like paying for it at the bat would be fantastic for him. So I may go as far as to protect this pad campaign, or we could just overdraw a bit and trash some cards to kind of build up that Industrial Genomics protection, which I think may be a slightly better play. Whenever we draw 2 credits though, that becomes a little bit worse. This actually Gary's way too big at this stage of the game. It's really a late game bit of ice. And I think the neural AMP is going to be too expensive right now. So we can just run archives, take a net damage, and then potentially go to the pad campaign. So we're still not in a fantastic situation. We'd like to get the crick over the archives, which maybe I could have done there. But at least he now knows there's a shock, and we hit the sneak door beta, which is a great hit for us. That's really solid, actually. Forge activation order in the wall of static. I think actually resing this is going to be the right call. We just don't have that much cheap end of run ice. In fact, 2 Lotus Fields and wall of static is really it, except for the Ashy Gary. Okay, we do lose a museum, but him trashing that straight off the bat, I'm more than okay with. There's a Mamba, which is pretty good. Conscious of not drawing into too much more agenda-wise here. Oh, this is nice. So this Mamba is going to be really useful. Again, we're popping these down with no protection, but he is down to 1 credit now, especially off the back of trashing that museum. So if we can get just a few more cards in the archives, we're going to start to kind of switch this over to our side, and these 2 pad campaigns are going to do a lot of work in putting pressure on the runner. And he hits his shocks straight off the top and loses an R&D interface. So wow, we've been really lucky with the 2 hits we've had from the single shocks. So let's overdraw a little bit, and I think the crick's probably going to go over. I think maybe let's actually just put the crick down and the hostile infrastructure. More ways to dissuade him, and I'm just happy to do that now because we have the Mamba Temple up. I think my initial thought with Industrial Genomics is trying to get as many face down cards in as possible, but if it's not really developing your board state, you might not be doing a whole lot. So try and put cards in there too early. I think last game I did that, and it paid off for me, but purely because I think the person I was playing against didn't take advantage of my misplay. Once we get the crick down, it becomes slightly better. Okay, the museum is great. Oh, double museum is absolutely godlike. So yeah, this is fantastic. We can potentially start getting a little bit risky now and start trying to museum away agendas next turn. But this essentially means that all the work that he spent doing sort of so far, all the runs, is about to come to nothing. There's 7 more agendas in the R&D, but none of them are that good for the runner. 3 global food, 2 Kronos project, 1 fetal, and 3 future perfect is the build we're running. Does he have enough credits to trash this? No, he doesn't, so that's fine. And I'm happy with him being aware that that is on the table. And the double museum is just heinous. So we'll grab back museum and neural EMP for now, and hopefully we'll get the Ashigaru next time round. We could just fire off a neural EMP just to kind of stick the knife in a little bit, but I think I'll draw, and that's exactly what we want to see. Let's just overdraw again. Okay, so let's stick out the bio, and let's go ahead and just start dropping. We'll just drop the Kronos and the Shock into the bin. So at least we've got 2 face down cards now, and we can shuffle back the Kronos if he doesn't run. If he does run, the Crick could give us the opportunity to pop it out into a new server anyway. This Bioethics Association, I thought it was good when I saw it initially, but I really didn't think about how well it combos with so many existing builds, with IG and with Replicate and Perfection, and even to an extent Person Evolution if you're really into playing trap type builds or net damage type builds. So he's going to run it. It's currently 4 to trash, which he will get enough from Desperado, which makes me kind of sad. So he's got to trash this. He absolutely has to, but knowing it's about to get shuffled straight back into the deck is just so demoralizing. Oh, it's just horrible. Desperado's definitely supporting him here, but that is just really grim from the runner's perspective. So yeah, Bioethics definitely going back, and the agenda going back. It only gives us 1 face down card now, but we can try and chuck some more in there potentially. Tempted to throw out the snare. He has been running quite a bit. So yeah, let's do Architect, and he hasn't got a lot of credits now, so I don't know if he will run this turn. I may just fire a neural EMP off just for the laughs. No, think about this for a second. Just take a second. Let's draw again, and then we could drop the Future Perfect and potentially another agenda. Okay. I've only got 2 in hand. It is reasonably protected. Getting this Architect in front of the wall static is probably my next big play, or next kind of task. We're slowly getting to the point that playing these Neurals could be useful, but I think it's probably the least useful card in my hand right now. The concern is, if he does that in a couple of Account Siphons and steals an agenda, it could set us really far back, but he still has to deal with all of these assets, which are not going anywhere anytime soon. We've got 3 face down cards, so it's everything boosted by 3 to trash. I almost feel like it should be the first card the runner accesses cost that or something. I don't know. Sometimes the IG deck gets absolutely destroyed, and sometimes it just gets to the point where there's nothing the runner can do. I mean, money-wise, he's only seen a Shurigawa and a Dirty Laundry, so, you know, it's not like he hasn't got a lot more money to come. I'm going to res this hostile infrastructure now, because I've just got these 2 credits doing nothing, and I'm starting to get the bankroll up now where I can kind of get things going. We'll definitely put the Future Perfect back in, and I think I'm going to put the Ashigaru back in at this point, because I think starting to look to score out is going to be an option. Not if this continues to happen though. Let's draw once. Okay, Caprice is good. So we'll stick out the Mumba and the Architect will go on HQ. And again, as I mentioned, not sure if it was this video or the video before, we try and run ice that are quite hard to deal with for Faust and for Parasite. It's really, Wizard's obviously a strong matchup against Asset Spam, but if you run 3 Architects and a couple of Lotus Fields, it makes things kind of harder to Parasite and harder to deal with. Yeah, I'm definitely going to res this even though he's jumping over it. He's going to get in, he's going to get his 2 credits. He could potentially steal an agenda or he could get snared. Okay, gets a Kronos. I'm okay with that. That's not really a huge issue for me. He could look to shut down one of my ice now, but at worst it's cost me 4 credits. That really came from Mumba Temples there, so again, it's not a huge concern. So what we're really missing now is the Bioethics Association. So we've got 3 to draw into, and if we can start getting them out, I'll be really happy. Oh, Siphon, okay. So is he letting us fire all? Okay. Oh wow, so this is good for us. Let's get the back Bioethics Association. So we should draw a hedge fund bioethics. And the bottom 1 card from Archives or HQ, I think I'm going to just go ahead and put Caprice into HQ. Or in, yeah, because why not? And we'll res her. And then he has to break Wall Static. And we could side game. Well, he can't because he's gonna. I can spend 2 credits to keep him out because Wall Static will cost him 2. So yeah, that worked out very, very well for us. Having that Caprice in hand, I really would like it on a remote server, but more than happy to keep him out this way. I don't think an account siphon would have hurt us a huge amount, but that being said, oh, it does shut down the Architect, which is fine. That being said, I don't want to give him those credits. I don't think I want to shuffle back any of these right now, although I can shuffle back the Neural EMP and potentially go for the kill because we are running 3 of them, but I think actually I'm just not going to shuffle anything back in at this point. Oh well, I know what my next cards are, so of course that would have been a bad play, thinking about that a little bit longer. So we draw into the Bioethics hedge fund and play another. I absolutely am on board for that. And all of a sudden he has to drop his hand. If he looks to trash the first one, it's going to be costing him an extra 2, so 4 credits plus a card to hostile infrastructure. And what's just absolutely brutal is he spent 3 clicks drawing there, and we're about to take 2 of those cards away. Do we want to put the hedge fund back in? I think so. And potentially just draw 3 times and drop the shock. I don't see any reason why I wouldn't do this. And the Mumba can probably, oh, the museum can probably go. Yeah. Okay, so we now have a nice big bit of ice to put on one of our remotes. We only have 2 Caprice in the deck, so having 1 on HQ is now kind of taking that away from a potential remote score. But we're all gravy right now. So I don't know if I actually want, I think I'll bring the museum back. Will I bring the Neural EMP back? Yeah, I think we will, just to have the option of potentially getting a kill off the back of these 2 Bioethics Associations. There's a pad, which is good. And a turtle packs, which is great. So turtle packs on the remote. We'll take 2 and res, and then put out a pad. And this deck, sorry to zoom out guys and make it even smaller, but it's just getting to a ridiculous position now. So I guess under testing, this is only my second game with the deck, but I'm starting to see more like, I don't know if having to create a scoring server is actually going to be something I want to do. That being said, I haven't come under some really deep R&D pressure, no sort of R&D interface or medium digs. So losing 2 cards a turn. They're only costing 4 and a card to trash. So I really feel like he needs to be going and doing this to one of them right now. But nope. We're just going to continue to make money. I wish I could stack these 3 pad campaigns. I don't think there's anything we want to get from the bin, so we're just going to carry on. And we hit a security testing and a pheromones, which is a bit of a odd card. It does work well with Gabe. Can I work out, do we even want to bother building a remote at this point? Probably, but an inside job would dead us until we get another piece of ice. Let's draw. Okay, Jackson's okay at this point. Yeah, let's pop Jackson out. Knowing that I can then get rid of some of these agendas is good. Oh my, okay, so we have quite a few agendas. So let's drop Future Perfect, the Fetal, and the Global Food back in. And we can always museum them, or if we really have to, we can Jackson them. So influence-wise, we've only seen an R&D interface. I'm going to have to zoom out one step more. An R&D interface and a corroder. I mean, I don't think Gabes usually tend to run a huge amount of recursion. So if this continues on for another turn or 2 more, he's really going to be running out of cards. Does have Sneak Door. He's going to Sneak Door, which means Crick's going to come up. Do I really want to res Crick? Yeah, do you know I will? I think I will res Crick and potentially put out the Fetal AI here. And so, install card from archives. Let's put the Fetal into a new remote. We don't get to end the run with Caprice. He could get 2 points here, or he could get snared. Oh, he gets the 2. So there was a reasonable chance of that going either way. If he had been snared, we would have just won the game right there and then. So kind of sad not to do so, but that's okay. So let's shuffle back the other 2 agendas. Hedge is okay, but we really do need another piece of ice. We're only running 9 ice, 4 of which is in play, 1 in hand, so there only is another 4 in the deck. A couple of Lotus Fields, another Crick. We just really would like a second tier. I think almost building a scoring remote's actually potentially going to put us in a bad situation. Wonder if we could get him into a CQ. That'd be pretty fantastic. Let's give it a whirl. And we're up to 16 servers. Yeah, I really do wish we could put this onto a second tier or just stack some of those museums or pads or something, because yeah, right now we're at some kind of ridiculous level here. I need to see my second Caprice. That would be great. Getting a Caprice and even 1 piece of ice then would give us a great opportunity to score. 2 snares here really could just essentially win the game for us. We don't want to fire anything, although we do have to install a card, which is an interesting situation. So this is weird. What have I got on the other servers? 14 is Fetal and CQ. I actually kind of forgot that Fetal was sitting on the table that turn. Come on, Snare. Oh my goodness, the chat is completely gone now. And he hits Snare. Boom. that is the game. Yep, he's going to take 2 damage from the biotechs, and that's going to do it. As soon as I start my turn, mandatory draw. Yeah, so hitting the snare that time, goodness, if it hit the global food, we would have been incredibly scared, but that did the damage we needed then for the 2 bioethics associations to kick in and just finish that off. Got a bit ropey towards the end there. I'll have to kind of watch this back and have a little look. So in my deck, I mean, there was still a couple pieces of ice, a lot of more money that wasn't really doing a huge amount, and these neural EMPs that really I wanted just to be kind of firing off, and I wanted them in my hand to use later on. So more learning coming from this deck, an enjoyable game, and thanks so much for watching along, guys, and any comments or feedback specifically in this deck as I kind of learn it along would be much appreciated. Thanks so much.